I have been thinking a lot lately about this weird, quiet thing that happens to so many of us.
Mm.
And I just never understood why.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Like, that feeling when you wake up and you just swing your legs out of bed and suddenly your knee just like deeply aches.
Oh, totally. Just out of nowhere.
Right. Or maybe it is your big toe and it is throbbing. And you are sitting there on the edge of the bed,
Mm.
just staring at your foot, trying to remember if you, I don't know, stubbed it on the door frame yesterday.
And you definitely didn't hit it on anything.
Exactly. You didn't do anything wrong.
Mm.
But you just kind of sigh and you shrug it off and you blame it on, well, getting older. Or maybe just sleeping funny.
Yeah, it is like this universal morning ritual. We feel this sudden pain and we just want a simple answer, so we just call it wear and tear.
Right, because that feels safe. It is comforting to think, well, I have just used this knee for a few decades, so of course it hurts.
I mean, we treat our bodies like old cars. The parts just wear out, right?
But I have been looking deeply into this, just trying to make sense of my own body. And it turns out that whole idea is pretty much completely missing the mark.
Really? So it is not just normal wear and tear.
No,
Yeah.
and that is the wild part. The wear and tear thing is a myth for most of us.
Mm-hmm.
What is actually going on is so much deeper and honestly so much more fascinating.
Okay, I am so curious now. What is actually happening then?
Well, there are basically two completely different things happening in our bodies that cause this daily pain, and most of us, maybe even you listening right now, are getting them totally mixed up.
Interesting. So we are treating the wrong thing.
Exactly. We are confusing this silent, slow-burning fire in our bodies with this other thing, which is a buildup of waste. And because we mix them up, people spend years just hurting for no reason.
Wow. Years of just living with it? That is heavy.
Right. And, I think we have to start by just looking at what happens inside the joint itself. Because I always pictured my joints like a simple hinge.
Like a door hinge, right? Just bone on bone.
Yeah, but there is actually this really thin layer of fluid
Yeah.
inside every healthy joint. I like to think of it like the oil in a car engine.
Okay, that makes sense. To keep things gliding smoothly.
Exactly. Its whole job is to keep the bones from rubbing together. But that fluid, that biological oil, it can actually go bad.
Go bad, like it expires?
Sort of. It is
Right.
not that it dries up, which is what I always thought. It actually changes its entire physical state. And this leads us to that silent fire I mentioned.
So what triggers that?
Well, there is this tissue that wraps around the joint, and it is packed with immune cells. They're like little security guards.
Right, keeping watch.
Yeah, and normally if you, roll your ankle, those guards rush in to fix the real injury.
Which is normal. That is what they are supposed to do.
But with this silent fire, this low-level inflammation, those immune cells rush into the joint fluid when there is no injury at all.
Wait, really? Why would they do that?
Because your body is sensing a totally fake threat. It gets confused. And when those immune cells flood into the joint, they completely change the chemistry of that fluid.
Oh, wow. So the oil gets messed up.
Yes, it gets super thick. It becomes this viscous, heavy sludge. So instead of a smooth glide, your joint is literally wading through mud.
That sounds incredibly painful and just sticky.
It is. And unlike a rolled ankle that heals up and goes away, this silent fire is just a slow, steady simmer. Over months and years, that thick sludge just slowly eats away at the joint cushion.
So it is not the miles you are putting on the knee, it is the sludge eating it from the inside.
Exactly. That is the first villain. But there is a second one, and it operates completely differently. Have you ever heard of uric acid?
I have, yeah. Usually when people talk about gout, right?
Right. And it sounds like this weird ancient issue, but it is just a normal waste product. When our bodies break down certain compounds in our food or just cycle through old cells, we make uric acid.
Okay, so we all have it.
We all have it.
Yeah.
And usually our kidneys just flush it right out.
Huh.
But when we make too much of it or our kidneys fall behind, it backs up into the blood.
And that is when it causes problems.
Oh, big problems.
Mhm.
Starts to form these tiny, super sharp crystals. They look like microscopic shards of glass.
Oh, geez. Shards of glass. That is a terrible image.
I know, right? And they love to settle in the colder parts of the body, which is why people always wake up with that throbbing pain in their big toe.
Okay, so let me just make sure I am getting this. One issue is a slow fire that turns your joint fluid into thick mud,
Right.
and the other is literally dropping tiny shards of glass right into the hill.
Yes. Mud versus glass. That is exactly it.
But wait, if they are so totally different on the inside, why do they feel exactly the same when I wake up? Like, if my knee is stiff, I cannot tell if it is mud or glass.
And that is the exact trap we all fall into. From the outside, they look identical. Both give you that morning stiffness, both make the joint swell up, and both make the skin feel hot.
So you just guess, and you are probably guessing wrong.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But the thing that really gets me is how they sneak up on us.
Mm.
Because nobody just wakes up one day with shards of glass or a joint full of sludge with zero warning.
Right. Our bodies always whisper before they yell.
Exactly. But we ignore the whispers. And I think that is because the whispers don't start as joint pain.
Really? What do they start as then?
They start as symptoms that are just so normal in our modern lives, we accept them as our baseline. I'm talking about that deep, heavy fatigue.
Oh, wow. The kind where you just can't get going.
Yeah, like waking up feeling totally drained, even after you just slept for 8 solid hours. Or just a heavy feeling in your arms and legs that no amount of coffee can fix.
I mean, you just described almost every person I know. We all just think, well, work has been super stressful, or I was on my screen too late.
Totally. We blame burnout. We blame the hustle.
Yeah.
But that deep exhaustion, that is actually the very first sign that your immune system is stuck in the on position.
So your body is just burning all its energy fighting a ghost war.
Yes. It takes a massive amount of energy to keep that immune fire burning. Your body is basically stealing power from your brain and your muscles just to fuel this fake response.
That is wild. And it really tracks with how we age, too. Like in your 20s, you just brush it off.
Right. In your 20s, maybe your knees ache for a few extra days after a run, and you just think, I guess I should have stretched more.
Because you bounce back so fast, you don't even question it.
But then you hit your 30s, and now that little bit of stiffness just blends into the total chaos of raising kids or building a career.
Yeah.
You are already tired, so your joints hurting is just part of the package.
We just accept it. We just say, well, I guess this is just what being an adult feels like.
It's so sad that we do that. And then by your 40s, you cannot ignore it anymore. Your knees complain on the stairs. Your wrists are on fire by the end of the workday.
And researchers actually have a name for this now, don't they? I remember hearing the term aging with fire or something like that.
Yeah, they call it inflammaging. It is this idea that as we get older, our baseline level of fire just naturally creeps up unless we actively do something to cool it down.
And it is not just age, though. It is how we live. The constant stress, the terrible sleep, the gut issues. It just keeps the immune system pumping out these little alarm signals.
Yes, those alarm signals, they just flood your blood and they whisper, attack, 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 to every cell in your body.
Even though there is nothing there to attack?
Exactly. And you brought up gut issues, which is where this gets completely mind-blowing to me. Like a huge chunk of our immune system, most of it actually, lives right inside our gut.
Right. Our stomach and intestines are basically immune headquarters.
So think about this. 2 people could eat the exact same lunch, sit at the same desk, have the exact same boss causing them stress.
Yeah.
But because their gut health is different, one person has terrible knee pain and the other feels totally fine.
That sounds crazy, but it makes total sense. If your gut is out of balance, it sends those alarm signals straight to your joints.
Exactly. If your gut is unhappy, little toxins leak into your blood. The immune guards in your gut freak out, hit the panic button, and your knees pay the price.
So your knee pain is actually just your stomach crying for help.
Yes. And because we don't realize this, we get such bad advice. We think we need knee surgery when we really just need to heal our gut and lower our stress.
I see this play out so much in real life. People just pushing through the pain, feeling guilty for resting, and ignoring what their body's begging for.
I know. Think about Sarah, just the classic marketing agency grind. She is in her early 30s working these crazy long hours.
Oh, the agency life is brutal. Total burnout city.
Right. And she started noticing her fingers felt really stiff every morning, especially when she was typing. She just thought, oh, it's the laptop strain. Ergonomics.
Which is such a logical guess.
It is. But then her knees started aching really badly after sitting through long meetings. And it hit me. That is exactly how it spreads. It starts in the little joints, then hits the big ones.
So what does she do? Does she just keep pushing?
Well, she finally started paying attention to her body. She tracked her energy and her pain. And she noticed they both tanked during weeks when she was eating out a lot and sleeping terribly.
The modern survival diet? Just takeout and lack of sleep?
Yeah. So she made these tiny, gentle changes. She added some fatty fish to her meals a couple times a week. She actually took a walk during lunch instead of eating at her screen.
Wow, just getting away from the desk.
And she aggressively protected her sleep. And in just over a month, the pain faded. Her energy came back, and her mood completely lifted.
The mood lifting is the real clue there, isn't it? That brain fog lifting means the whole system cooled down.
Totally. It was never just her hands. It was her whole system. And then there's Michael. He is older, in his 40s, works a heavy physical job building things.
Okay, so with him, you would immediately think, yeah, his joints are just worn out from the hard work.
Right. Everyone told him that. He had these deep aches in his knees and his hands, and he's just assumed his cartilage was gone.
Which is terrifying because you think it is permanent. You think your body is just broken forever.
Exactly. But he started wondering about his diet. He used to drink those huge sugary energy drinks every single day just to get through his shifts.
Oh man, those things are just liquid stress for the body.
They really are. So he cut those out. He started eating more greens, and he started doing a really gentle stretch before work. In 2 months, the stiffness was gone, and that heavy, dragging feeling just vanished.
Wait, so it wasn't wear and tear at all?
No, and that is the biggest myth we need to bust right here. The fire in your body, the poor sleep, the sugar, it can perfectly mimic joint aging without any actual damage being there.
That was such a huge relief to know that your body isn't actually broken. It is just angry.
It is the best news. You are not doomed.
Yeah.
But what about the glass shards? The uric acid? Because I always thought that was just an issue for, like, old kings eating huge feasts.
Oh, that stereotype is so dangerous now.
Right. It is not just the disease of kings anymore.
Not at all. With the way we eat today and the lack of water we drink, this is hitting people in their 20s and 30s constantly.
And they don't even know what it is. They wait for their toe to get huge and red.
Yeah.
But if there is no swelling, they think they are fine.
Which is a huge mistake. The silent fire is called silent for a reason. It thickens that fluid way before you ever see swelling. Waiting for the swelling is like waiting for your car to catch fire before you check the oil.
Okay, so we know what is happening.
Yeah.
We know what is mud or glass, and they both thrive on our modern burnout lifestyle. So what do we do tomorrow morning?
Right. How do we actually tell our bodies they are safe?
Let's start with the glass shards. If we have that uric acid building up, how do we gently sweep the glass out?
The absolute most basic thing, which we all forget to do, is drink water. Lots of it.
Just simple water?
Yes. It literally dilutes the waste in your blood. It makes it so much easier for your kidneys to flush it out before it ever has a chance to turn into glass.
That makes perfect sense. Wash it away.
Uh,
But what about food? I have heard tart cherries are really good for this.
Oh, they are amazing. Tart cherries have these deep red plant pigments in them. And they don't just numb the pain, they actually tell your liver to stop making so much uric acid in the first place.
Wait, really? It
Here.
stops the factory?
Yeah.
Exactly. It turns off the faucet instead of just trying to mop up an overflowing sink. I love that. So cherries help stop it. But what is causing the factory to overproduce? You mentioned the energy drinks with Michael. Why does sugar matter for joint class?
It is a massive blind spot for people. When you drink lots of liquid sugar, like the syrups and sodas, your liver processes it in a way that just dumps out tons of uric acid as a byproduct.
Oh, wow. So the sugar directly creates the glass shards.
Yes. And if you add alcohol, especially beer, to that mix, it is a double hit. Beer gives you the compounds that make the waste, and the alcohol stops your kidneys from doing their job to clear it.
Okay, so for the glass, we hydrate, we eat cherries, and we cut back on the liquid sugar and the beer. That feels very doable.
It is. Small, gentle shifts.
But what about the mud? What about the silent fire turning our joint fluid into sludge?
For that, we have to stop what we call internal rusting.
Internal rusting? That sounds terrible. What is that?
Think of it like this. When we eat highly processed foods, or when we are just chronically stressed, our bodies create these unstable little molecules, and if we don't have enough healing plant nutrients to calm them down, they act like tiny wrecking balls inside the joint.
And that wrecking ball damage is what triggers the alarm signals.
Exactly. So to stop the rust, you want to bring in the cooling foods, leafy greens, berries, and those healthy fats, like from salmon or walnuts, they directly turn down the volume on those alarm signals.
And I also want to bring up turmeric, because everyone talks about it for joint pain.
Yeah.
But there is a huge catch with how you're supposed to eat it, right?
Oh, yes. Turmeric is amazing for cooling the fire, but if you just eat it by itself, your liver just flushes it right out before it ever reaches your sore knees.
So it does nothing.
Pretty much nothing, unless you pair it with black pepper.
Black pepper, just regular black pepper.
Just regular black pepper. It has a compound that basically tells the liver to pause for a second, which allows the turmeric to actually get into your blood and travel to your joints.
It is like the black pepper holds the door open so the turmeric can get inside.
That is the perfect way to picture it.
I love how these foods work together. And I am guessing, to stop feeding the fire, we really need to look at our modern pantry. The refined sugars, the white bread.
Eat the reused frying oils. Those are huge triggers for that internal rusting. It is just like pouring gasoline on a low-burning fire.
Okay, so we have the food side figured out. But the physical side is just as wild to me. There is this idea of doing just 5 minutes of gentle movement before you even touch your morning coffee.
Oh, I highly recommend this.
Like just doing ankle circles or knee bends in your pajamas. Why is that so powerful for the mud?
Because that joint fluid, the oil, it actually changes state when it moves. When you lie perfectly still in bed all night, the fluid cools down and gels up into that thick mud.
So it is naturally thick in the morning.
Right. And if you just get up and start walking hard on it, you are grinding the joint. But if you do gentle circles in the air, you physically warm up the oil. It thins out before you put your body weight on it.
That is incredible. Just moving it changes the physics of it. Which perfectly explains why we need to take mindful breaks at work too.
Oh, totally. If you are locked at a desk for 8 hours staring at a screen, that fluid is just stagnating and turning right back into gel.
And we get so wrapped up in our emails and we feel guilty for stepping away.
Hmm.
But you only need, what, 2 minutes an hour?
Just stand up, shake it out, do a couple stretches. Do not let the oil freeze up.
It is such a small act of kindness for your body. The other huge thing is sleep. Not just how much you sleep, but the timing of it. Why does going to bed at the same time actually help my knee pain?
It all comes down to your stress hormones, specifically cortisol. Cortisol is kind of the boss of your immune system. It controls those alarm signals.
Okay, so cortisol sets the tone.
Right. And your body times its cortisol release based on your daily rhythm, your sleep cycle.
Yeah.
If you go to bed at a different time every night, your rhythm gets totally chaotic.
So the boss goes missing.
Exactly. And without the boss, the immune system panics and starts dumping out the fire alarms. But if you keep a steady sleep time and maybe do just 5 minutes of slow breathing before bed,
It lowers the stress.
it lowers the stress and it tells your brain and your immune guards that there is no tiger in the room. You are safe.
It is all about safety signals. Food, movement, sleep, they're all just ways to tell your body it is safe.
And that is why it is so helpful to just take notes on how you feel. Like once a week, just check in. How is my energy today? Are my wrists tight?
Yes, catch the pattern early.
Yeah.
Notice if the takeout food makes you heavy the next day.
But a lot of people hear all these gentle steps, the cherries, the breathing, and they just feel doubtful. They wonder, is this really going to work for me or am I just doomed by my genetics?
The classic worry, if my parents had bad knees, aren't I just guaranteed to have them too?
It is such a common fear, but the reality is so hopeful. Your genetics just set the starting line. They give you your natural kidney efficiency or your baseline sensitivity.
Okay, so they set the stage.
But your daily choices, those 5-minute morning stretches, choosing water over soda, calming your mind before bed, those things actually decide how the story ends. Your genes might load the gun, but your daily habits pull the trigger.
So you are not a prisoner to your DNA at all.
Not at all.
That is just so empowering. Your daily life has a real massive impact on whether those genes ever actually cause you pain.
Exactly. You have so much more control than you think.
So if you are listening to this and tomorrow you swing your legs out of bed and your toe is throbbing, just remember, it might be the glass shards,
Yeah.
a localized buildup of waste.
Right.
But if you are waking up with that overall stiffness, that heavy fatigue and brain fog, you're probably dealing with the sludge, the silent fire.
And neither of them is a life sentence. You can change the environment inside your body.
You really can. But I think we also have to be so gentle with ourselves. If you have a crazy week, you eat poorly, you barely sleep, and your knees flare up, that does not mean you failed.
Oh, please do not beat yourself up. Flare-ups are normal. It just means you are a human being and your body is talking to you. It is just real-time feedback.
Exactly. Health is not a place you just arrive at and clock out. It is just a general direction. The goal is just to make sure most of your choices are whispering safety to your cells.
Before we finish up today, there's one last thing I want to put out there. Just something to kind of chew on.
Oh, I love these. What is it?
We talked so much today about how this silent fire happens because the immune system attacks a phantom threat, a fake enemy.
Right, the false alarm.
But I want us to really look at our modern world. Think about the bright blue screens we stare at right before bed. Think about the totally unnatural processed things we eat.
Things our bodies don't even recognize as food.
Exactly. And think about the constant low-level stress of unread emails and just endlessly scrolling through bad news.
So,
Yeah.
maybe they aren't phantom threats at all.
Right. What if your joint pain isn't your body breaking down? What if your body is working exactly the way it was designed to work, but it is just reacting to the wrong signals?
Oh, wow.
Your immune system might be perfectly healthy, It is just being constantly tricked into a state of total warfare by this totally bizarre, unnatural world we have built.
That completely flips the script. Your pain isn't a failure. It is a perfectly normal response to an abnormal environment. It is just your body sending up a flare, asking for a little peace.
Exactly. It is just asking for peace.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Wellness Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same gentle way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Wellness Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the Join button right next to the Wellness Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Wellness Support Circle. Your support helps Honest Health Awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Wellness Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.